Disney recently announced that Walt Disney Studios Park is going to be officially renamed as Disney Adventure World, but with all the works that are currently going on in Walt Disney Studios Park, is it still a park worth visiting? Hi everyone, how's life and welcome to another one of my videos. So yes, we are currently in Walt Disney Studios Park, and Studio 1 there behind me is now closed. Unfortunately, you can't actually go in there. You can see that they have blocked it off with nice walls, and on the walls they do actually have some concept art which we are going to have a look at a little bit closer. But I thought I would share this afternoon with you, going through the entire park and having a look at what it's like now to visit Walt Disney Studios Park in 2024, because the closure of Studio 1 will be continuing until April of 2025 at the very earliest. So this entire, entrance, I suppose, of the park will be closed, but there are still ways to manage the park, don't worry, and all the attractions and shows should still be going on. So firstly, as you can see, the actual front area of the park is more or less unchanged. It really is just Studio 1 that has caused all the major changes here in this park, and these are the concept arts that they've put on the walls in front of Studio 1, and I really like what they've done with this. So if you look really closely, you can see that there's loads of different people making up the world of Frozen, which should be opening hopefully in the next year or so here in Walt Disney Studios Park or Disney Adventure World. But yeah, this is an amazing project they've done. Some of them are cast members, some of them are just Disney fans, annual pass holders, etc. There was a couple of days here in Disneyland Paris where they asked people if they wanted to take part in this project, and I love what they've done with it. Obviously this main one here, which is of exactly what the whole park is going to look like hopefully after everything is finished, doesn't have any people in it. It's just the main normal artwork. But here again, another concept art we've got here of Disney Theatre World Premiere, which is what Studio 1 is going to look like inside. And again, if you look closely, there are different people here. Look at that. Loads and loads of different people, like I said, from cast members to Disney fans and guests. And let me know if you took part in this. I didn't, I wasn't here when it happened, but if you did, let me know. It'd be cool to spot you, and I think they've done a really awesome job with it, to be fair. And as you can see, the entrance of the park is now from the left. It is worth noting that the Walt Disney Studios store is currently open. Actually, it was closed for a little bit of time, but it's recently reopened, so you can do your shopping there if you wish to. And this is Studio 1, where you would normally go through those main gates to get to the main attractions of the park. Now, as you can see on the sign there, they just tell you to go and walk from the left hand side. And yeah, you can see again another sign over here, entrance entrée. And some guests don't necessarily pay attention to it, but I do think that Disneyland Paris have done a pretty clever job. So you can see, because obviously a lot of this park has to do with cars and Pixar's cars, there's even a few attractions to do with cars here. They've put signs on the ground, almost like if it's a street. So when you're coming out of the park, when you're leaving, they ask you to walk from that side, and then when you're entering the park, they want you to walk from the right hand side. Like I said, some guests unfortunately don't listen, some guests just don't pay attention, some guests don't even realize that that's the thing. So it can become a little bit frustrating, and you might bump into people sometimes. But when it becomes extremely crowded, such as for instance at the end of the evening, normally there is at least one cast member here to direct people so that there's not a lot of chaotic mess here. Right now it's not too bad actually. From what I'm seeing, most people are leaving the park rather than entering, because there's only about an hour or so left of park opening time. But I'm just walking in my lane where I'm meant to be with the arrows. You can see another arrow again pointing me forward, and you can see we're walking across together where the musical is located, and then Studio 1 is right to our right hand side over here. Of course, we see more walls once we get to the main area of the park, and Tower of Terror. I love how Tower of Terror has now become like the main thing that you see when you enter Walt Disney Studios Park. Now you can already see the sign here for exit as well, sortie. Exactly the same exact route that we just walked into the park from, you'll take the same one just to exit. So like I said, it can become a little bit uncomfortable, especially during busy times, but for the most part I've seen it pretty organized. Anyway, I think I'm going to cover the left hand side of the park first, because the right hand side I just don't really want to have to go through the crowds next to Crush and everything. It's not a very comfortable place to be when it's busy. So we're going to head this way first towards Avengers Campus, and again you can see more walls across as you make your way towards Avengers Campus. But again, they have put some posters up here and there to make it a little bit more magical. I always like walking past this French fry stand. I'm not going to get any right now, but the smell of it is just so inviting. It literally just sells French fries, and you can get different sauces, all of them vegan, but it's really good. That's the stand over there, by the way, if you want to get yourself your own French fries when you come here. But we've got Tower of Terror here in front of us, a few more little stands here that sell either ice creams or shops. Of course, Together the musical is in Studio 2 over there, which you can also access from the side. At the moment, actually, it's closed, but only for a few weeks. It's going to come back in June of 2024, so don't worry sorry, the show will be going on whilst the renovation works are going on. Look at Panorama Magique in the back too. We've got Studio D, of course, Stitch Live. All the main attractions and shows should still be on here in Walt Disney Studios Park. But without further ado, we have now made our way into Avengers Campus, the most recent land here at Walt Disney Studios Park, opened in July of 2022. And it's so cool to think that pretty soon this is not going to be the most recent land of this park anymore. World of Frozen is going to be, hopefully by 2025. I do really enjoy this land though. Just being in this land makes me happy, especially when it's not overly crowded. And towards the later hours of the park opening time, we've got Spider-Man's Web Adventure to my right, Pim Kitchen on the left, which is a buffet restaurant here. I would recommend it. I do have a couple of videos covering it actually. And then one thing I actually wanted to show you is here to my left. Of course, we've got Stark Factory, which is a quick service restaurant here in Walt Disney Studios Park's Avengers Campus. Now, because Studio One closed about a month ago, when Studio One hosted quite a few dining options for people. You had, of course, restaurant Enquiries there, Hepcat Corner. There was quite a few options for people to get either quick service meals or like a snack or a croissant or a coffee or a drink. And because that's now closed, options have become a bit more limited here in Walt Disney Studios Park, and they will be for the next year or so. And because of that, Stark Factory has now started offering breakfast in the morning. So if you want to get your morning croissant, pain au chocolat, just some drinks, orange juice, coffees, etc., then you can head to Stark Factory, which is a quick service generally, and it does some amazing pasta and pizza in the mornings. They're now open and you can get yourself your breakfast there. Now, something that's definitely worth mentioning here is that for the time being, at least as of May of 2024, you're no longer able to access the rest of the park from Avengers Campus's this end. So if you want to go anywhere else in the park, then you have to leave the same way you came into Avengers Campus, unfortunately, because as you can see, they've put walls up here. You used to be able to get towards Tower of Terror from here. There used to be a little bit of a walkway, and all of this will eventually change and hopefully make the park feel a lot more spacious. But right now it's fully blocked. You can in fact even see some of the cranes and the works going on the other side of the walls, but just know that so that you don't make a long journey here for no reason. If you're thinking of leaving from this side because you think it's going to be less crowded, don't think that. The only way out is the same way that you came in. It does make it a little bit of a shame though, because for the time being there really isn't much going on at this end of Avengers Campus. Of course, you've got the Super Diner, which does tend to close quite early compared to some of the other options here, and then you've got the hot dog stand here. It's mainly just a couple of restaurants. There's no other reason for you to come here unless you just want somewhere a little bit more quiet to chill. Anyway, we are now back by the fry stand because this is the best way for you to get to Hollywood Tower of Terror, one of the main and most popular attractions here in Walt Disney Studios Park. Like I said, you used to be able to access it through Avengers Campus, but for now this is the main way. 30-minute wait right now, by the way, which isn't too bad. And then we get to some more walls here. So Tower of Terror is just over here, and these walls are definitely new, some of these. There's some signs here that tell you where you can access toilets, etc., which is actually good. Again, I feel like Disney have done the best they can with a difficult situation, doing so many renovation works in one go at the same time. It's not easy. And that's Toy Story Playland on the other side, which is open, but there's just a lot of walls that unfortunately keep us away from it. We can get there from a different route though, don't you worry. But for now, this is Tower of Terror. Quite a lot of seating areas here in the terrace next to Tower of Terror. I actually really enjoy chilling here from time to time. Sometimes if I'm eating and everyone else is busy, I bring my food to this corner over here. I just saw a guest take a photo of this car, and it's one of those things that probably won't be staying in this park for much longer. Once it turns into Disney Adventure World, it wouldn't really make sense for them to have this car. I don't know, it's still like the studio vibe of it. In fact, all of this area here, it is a little bit sad, to be fair, because even though I think this park 100% needed the change and the makeover, and even the new name to me makes absolute sense, but there was just so much nostalgia that goes with it, what this park used to be and how it started from 2002. Look at this, all the Hollywood vibes, they're all going to be gone. It's going to look so different. And I quite like this little Hollywood Boulevard area of this park back when it was a thing, and now you can't really go any further because of the walls, and there's even a crane over there. There's just so many cranes, and shout out to people working on all the projects here in this park. Anyway, believe it or not, we've already covered one side of the park, which was that side over there, and then we are going to head right now, which is going to take us to, we're just passing by Animation Celebration. This is where the Frozen show happens. You can also meet Olaf, as well as do the Drawing Academy, Animation Academy. But yeah, in front of me you can see Crush's Coaster, probably the most popular attraction here in this park, but also just in the entirety of Disneyland Paris. Always has queues of at least 45 minutes. Normally they can go up to like 2 hours, 3 hours even, during very busy times. And I've just bumped into there. What's your name?
Rose.
Rose, I love your ears. And Rose has given me some really, really fun and good tips for future videos that you might see on the channel. The pizzas are awesome. Thank you so much, Rose. It is always so lovely meeting you guys, and please do feel free to come and say hi to me if you see me in the parks. But Lord have mercy, the crowds here is a little bit chaotic, trying to get through people when all these walls are up as well. And again, that's something that's been the case in this park for a long time, even when the walls weren't up. It's just become a little bit more difficult now. But to my right here, you can see the Animagic Theatre. This is where you would go to watch Mickey and the Magician, one of the most popular shows here. It's a half-an-hour stage show. It's amazing. It features Mickey trying to learn some magic tricks. Those are different characters and films as well. One of my favorites here for sure. And then yeah, this whole area is the bit that stresses me out just a little bit because there's so many things that are close here. So Aladdin's carpet ride is currently also under renovation. It's actually the only attraction that is currently under renovation if you don't count Studio One. This is the only one, and it should be reopening hopefully by the end of the year. It is also worth mentioning that the famous Scream machines that used to be here in the Little Monsters Inc. corner have also been walled up, and I don't think they'll come back, unfortunately. Which is a shame. It really is a little bit of a shame, because anytime I would walk past it, I would hear very excited kids enjoying testing out their screams with those machines. But I am now going to slowly but surely brave this area of the park, which I just honestly never enjoy walking through. It's basically this very narrow pathway between the Cars ride and Crush's Coaster. It's always so busy, especially because they've normally got character meets going on as well by the Pixar place. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Crush is currently at a 60-minute wait because, actually no, that's single rider. It is a 70-minute wait, the regular standby, 60 for single rider, an hour before park closing time. And yeah, so many people, the ride's just gone through. So many people here, and the characters aren't even meeting at this time of evening, but this is normally where they would be meeting. So if you're here from around morning time, 9:30 until about 5 p.m, then you can meet either Buzz, Jessie, Woody, sometimes some of the other Pixar characters, or there's wonderful Pixar backdrop. Personally, I'm quite glad they're not currently outside, because at least there's a little bit of a quiet space here when the actual main pathway, the narrow pathway, just has so much hustle and bustle currently. Anyway, carrying on, this famous stand brought the infamous corn dogs last year at the beginning of 2023, and I made a whole video about how they were just a little bit overpriced, and thankfully they have now reduced the price a little bit. I think they used to be something like 11 euros or 12 euros, and now they're 8.50. I mean, still quite expensive considering the corn dog really isn't too big, but at least it's no longer 11 or 12 euros. But I'm gonna carry on walking towards, we've got Toy Story Playland in front of us, and of course to my right then we will have Place de Remy.
Everything is assembled and ready for maximum fun.
I think I'm gonna head into Toy Story Playland first. Before I do that, again, I wanted to show you the unfortunate situation that we have currently in Walt Disney Studios Park. So because of all the walls, the newer walls that they've installed kind of close to Tower of Terror, again, it's not possible anymore to walk this way. There's not a lot of places that you can go to. You can go to the toilets. That's, I think, the only place that you can go to from this direction. But really, it's just made it kind of difficult to navigate the park. I mean, it's not a very big park anyway, so don't worry too much about it. You might have to just do a little bit more walking than normal, and it sometimes can be annoying to see an attraction, just not be able to get to it because of the walls. You have to go all the way around, like the longer route. But it's all meant to be for the improvement of this park eventually, so hopefully it will be worth the wait. I think it will be. I am so excited for all the new attractions to come. The lake, the restaurant, there's going to be so much coming to this park in the not so distant future. And of course, the reason I make this type of videos is so that you can know what to expect if you're visiting Walt Disney Studios Park within the next year or so. Look at parachute drops going up. I love this attraction, quite underrated. And this is it. Toy Story Playland remains unchanged and probably will be unchanged for quite some time now. There has been talks and announcements from Disney that they will add a couple of things to this land, including a new statue of Woody, so that it's not just Buzz, which I'm very excited about. So we'll probably eventually see some new stuff, but at the moment it looks unchanged. It's basically what it has been more or less since its opening. Someone literally just coughed on me. It was not pleasant, but we move on. We have now come to the entrance of RC Racer, one of the 3 attractions in Toy Story Playland, and probably my favorite in the land. It's currently at a 25-minute wait. Honestly, if you love your thrill rides, this is such an amazing one to go on. But let's carry on with our little tour of Walt Disney Studios Park in May of 2024. Now, here we have the infamous Toy Story shop that I've made an entire video about. You guys keep tagging me in them whenever you see it. It really does bother me, the fact that there's an E in there. I get what they were trying to do, but it's such a bad misspelling, even though that was the point of it. I don't know, it just always, I don't enjoy looking at it, right? And it's ironic because I enjoy Toy Story and I love the color blue. But yeah, the park keeps on going. And at the moment, lordy, oh, okay. So as you can see, they have blocked it off for the evening. The current time is 8:30 p.m. p.m. and the park doesn't close officially until 9 p.m. So maybe this was worth noting actually. Some of the attractions, perhaps the not so popular ones at the back of the park, maybe close a little bit earlier. I do enjoy these walls though that they installed a couple of years ago. They're very fun photo spots. But yeah, if for whatever reason Cars Road Trip is a priority attraction for you, if it's one of your favorites or your child's favorite, if they really enjoy the Cars movie, then perhaps don't leave it until the last half hour or last hour of the park opening, because I guess they do close it a little bit earlier than some of the other attractions. I didn't know that. It is so funny just seeing cranes almost everywhere you look at the moment in Walt Disney Studios Park. But yeah, that area over there literally for the time being is just a Cars Road Trip ride, no other ride. They do also have the snack cart, the Laugh and Go cart, which sells like croque monsieurs and a couple of really fun cupcakes, so I guess that also closed a little bit earlier than some of the rest of the attractions and restaurants here. But apart from that, there's nothing else there. But of course, this is where the pathway to World of Frozen is going to be, and we're going to have Frozen World or Frozen Land. I should really say World of Frozen, that's the official name of it. It's going to be there, Arendelle. Like, there's just so much to come. This park is going to be transformed so much, and it's going to be so much bigger than it has been since its opening. And thankfully, the pathway that connects Toy Story Playland to Place de Remy, which is the Ratatouille Remy area of the park, is still open, which is where you just go under this blue tunnel, I suppose, and then you get to one of my favorite parts of Walt Disney Studios Park ever since it opened, Place de Remy. I can't believe we're about to celebrate 10 years of this area being open. So we've got Bistro Chez Remy, the table service restaurant, which is one of my favorites and then an extremely popular one. Definitely make sure you make your reservations in advance if you're hoping to dine here. We've got the Ratatouille ride here in front of us as well, which premiered here in Disneyland Paris as Walt Disney Studios Park in July of 2014. Like I said, we're heading into the 10-year anniversary of it in July of 2024. And then of course we do have the Rendezvous Gourmand stands that have returned recently, and they will be here until I want to say October of 2024. But this year is probably the smallest it's ever been. Nothing new, nothing exciting to be fair. They've got about 5 stands. It's mainly the most popular stuff. So you've got like the bonbonnière, sell some sweets, etc. You've got the Belgian stand, which is probably one of my favorites actually. I might even get something from there. You've got the crepes, you've got the galettes, waffles, things like that. Most of the very popular things like pretzels and stuff you can find here. And it does still make this area smell really nice, of loads of cheese and crepes and Nutella. It's a very, very fun place to hang out in. So I do recommend you maybe watching some of my later videos, my older videos from previous years, if you want to see exactly what to find in these stands here, because like I said, it's almost half of what it used to be, but the most popular stands are still here. So if you are visiting, then some of the most iconic snacks that you normally would be able to find here, you can still get. I have decided to come to the Belgian stand though to treat myself to a frikandel sausage with French fries. They're really, really good. You can get them for €8, or you can get the fresh fries on its own for €5. They also of course do the waffles here, considering it's Belgian waffles. Yeah, it's one of my favorite stands. And just like that, I've got my frikandel sausage with some fries and some mayonnaise. Shout out to the cast member, she gave me quite a lot of mayonnaise and I appreciate her for it. So good. With that being said though, we have now come to the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative in some ways, especially like I said, if you are planning to visit Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney Studios specifically within the next year or so, then hopefully at least now you know kind of what to expect. I wouldn't worry too much about it because as you can see, most of the rides and attractions and shows are still operating as normal. It's just the vibe is a little bit different because of all the walls, but there's not much that can be done about that, and the future of this park in my opinion looks very bright. I am so excited about everything that is to come, and in a few months time I will make a whole video about what we know so far about this park in Disney Adventure World, which is going to be its new name starting from when the World of Frozen opens. So yeah, loads of fun things to come, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and a massive huge shout out to my Patreon members and YouTube members. You guys are amazing. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Check out my previous vlogs if you want to, and follow me on Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. That's fun. Random little atmosphere coming from the cast members who are really the main magic of Disney parks, just clapping as people are leaving to make this park and the state of it a little bit better. Okay, I'll see you in the next vlog.